coming home. I'm coming home.
Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu on a special night. One of our own true warriors is actually coming home.
Yesterday, I know my kingdom awaits, and they're forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming.
Yeah, friends, DeMarcus Ware, truly a great warrior. And this one's for you, homie. It's sad that he couldn't finish up his career in Dallas going out the right way, but that unfortunately.
Whoa, this happens at the Nay Embry show.
Sorry about this, guys.
Is in the building.
The show that I'm actually part of. Oh, that's me. This is actually the beginning of the show. They start out at 9 o'clock, and I am part of the show. I am the sports section, and I'll be actually going on there live at 9:45. Thank you guys for all joining in tonight to the show. It has been a crazy, crazy day number 5 of free agency. I got to be honest with you. There's a lot to get to tonight. We have Zeke Elliott. I am trying to understand exactly what the hell is going on with Zeke. By now, I'm sure you guys have seen this video of Zeke. Here it is. I need a drink on this one. Yeah, that one. I got to be honest with you. Zeke, I don't know what the heck is going on, what you're thinking, but see, thank you, young SSJ. But dude, you got to understand one thing. The paparazzi literally is on you like they were for Princess Diana. Everywhere you go, they are looking for anything, the smallest detail. I mean, you can't even go to the bathroom and take a dump without expecting somebody with a camera to be there. Dude, when you take each of these incidences, they're not big in a whole. But unfortunately, you're under investigation with the NFL league. You think this is going to make them hurry up and finish that investigation? This is a black eye for them. Now, unfortunately, some players can get away with doing stuff and being wild and being the party animal, like Gronk. Gronk can have a party cruise where he's knocked down, drag out, drunk, you know, bodies shaking all over the place and trying to get people to jam on the floor, literally, and offering to pay them. Unfortunately, you can't get away with that. You're a Dallas Cowboy. You're under the microscope because everybody wants to see the Dallas Cowboys fail. And for you, you're young. You're the best player at your position. You got money, and you're a black man. People want to see you fail. People want to drug you through the dirt. So you got to watch it. I'm not saying don't have fun, but you got to understand, everywhere you go, that camera's right there looking for you. So, Yanis, not too much, man. I'm just sitting there going on about good old Zeke Elliott. Kind of disappointed, to be honest with you, that we keep seeing every couple of weeks something about Zeke Elliott. The good thing is our quarterback is down working out and getting in shape and getting ready for the season. What's up, Bell? Oren, Daniel, Wiz Young, Ruben, Joey, Brandon. Damn, everybody's joining in tonight. Now, where's Sarah? I know, Sarah, you better get in here at some point. So, got that to deal with. But back to my original opening here of DeMarcus Ware. There's Sarah. How you doing, Sarah? I'm glad that DeMarcus Ware is actually retiring because your body only has so many hits in it. He just ended up having disc surgery where they removed one of his discs in his back. You know, you can only play football for so long. You are the all-time leading Dallas Cowboy sack leader. You've got your ring. You got plenty of money. You're well-loved. What is there left to do? At some point, you got to start thinking about your life after football. So hanging on just to hang on to a career, I'm not much for. I'm glad that you accomplished all that you accomplished, although it might have been nice if you could have gotten just 5 more sacks and been in the top 5. But everybody who's ahead of him is in the Hall of Fame right now. So look for DeMarcus Ware to become a Hall of Famer. And the Cowboys are reaching out to him to sign him to a one-day contract so that way he will retire as a Dallas Cowboy. And that's the way it should be. Now, some of you may have seen my video earlier today, and I got to tell you, thank you, Ruben. I'm glad you guys love the channel. I'm doing as much as I can to try and improve it, try and make it something that we can all be proud of, because it's not just about me or Jobu. It's about all of us Cowboy fans together being able to talk, share different ideas. We don't have to always agree and stuff, but get different points of view and stuff, and kind of, you know, have different conversations about stuff. So again, I try and bring you guys as much of the Dallas Cowboys news as I can, as soon as I can, but I do have a day job. So unfortunately, I'm not working for ESPN or anything like that. Borg, Mo is probably gone, but it's looking like Baltimore was interested in signing him to a contract, but right now it's looking like they are actually going to take that contract back. So right now he is currently teamless. So let me flip this on real quick. So don't exactly count that he is gone for sure. I'm not sure that I want him back. In fact, I would hope that somebody hurries up and signs him so we won't be talking about bringing him back. I still think Brandon Carr may be coming back because we've already lost Church. We've lost Wilcox. And there's a lot to be said about continuity. You can't bring in 4 new cornerbacks and think they're going to gel right at the beginning, not unless you've got a great defensive line that's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on. Is Carr signed yet? Carr hasn't signed with anybody just yet. Claiborne, again, Texas T. I agree with you, man. Claiborne, it was always hurt, and when he came back, he was never real good. Oh, J-Wad is here. J-Wad, congratulations. One of the Chip Kelly castaways is back. Napoleon Dynamite has been re-signed. I mean, Nick Foles has been re-signed. So congratulations to you guys, man. So you guys have been making some moves, man. It might be the Dream Team 3 for you Eagles. Do I think Heath can be a starter? At this point, Heath is probably going to be a starter. The question is he going to be a good starter? That's what's going to remain to be seen. As a safety, fortunately, you don't have to have as much speed as you do as a cornerback. Interestingly enough, you know, I'm a historian of the game. Charlie Waters, the Hall of Famer, they tried him as a cornerback, and he failed miserably. And he thought he was going to get cut. But Tom Landry had said, you know, I wish I had 41 guys like, you know, this guy, because he worked so hard. But they moved him to safety, and then from that point on, it was lights out. He played fantastic, one of the best Dallas Cowboys in their history. Please no Heath. Well, here's the problem, Texas T. We got $3 million right now under the cap. $3 million, not a whole lot. And the interesting thing is a lot of people are saying, oh, I don't like this guy that we signed. I don't like that guy that we signed. But, hey, you can only sign what you got money for. And we don't have money, which, again, goes back to one of those things. Hey, Jackie, how are you doing tonight? Nick C., David, Michael, how are you guys all doing tonight? Thank you guys for joining in. It's getting crazy out here for our Cowboys. One of the reasons why I've been saying that we need to get rid of Tony Romo, and everybody keeps saying it's just because I hate him, and it's not because I hate him. Tony Romo, if he stayed, even if he were the quarterback and there was no Dak Prescott, it's still a short-term deal. You have to look not only at today when you're a football team, but how is every move that I do today going to affect 2-3 years down the road? And keeping Tony Romo is not just the $24 million for this year. It's then another $9 million next year on top of it if he plays for 1 year. So you're talking, what's up, Jelly? Daniel? Geronimo? Dreads Out 5? How you guys doing tonight? You're talking about $35 million just for 1 year because you have to cut him next year and take the dead money. You tell me who in the NFL is worth $35 million for 1 year, especially when you only spent $32 million last year on your whole defense. Let me say that again. Your whole defense last year, it was $35 million. So when you say, hey, man, I don't like Carroll for signing, he got burned on a lot of pays. Well, because you're paying Tony Romo $24 million, because you're paying Dez $14 million, because you're paying your tackle, Tyron Smith, $10 million plus the money that you ended up kicking in the rears from renegotiating. When you spend that kind of money on the offense, you don't have much to spend on the defense. So understand the focus on this team is keeping everybody together. Dak Prescott is excited about keeping Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler. He feels like, hey, this team is now Dak friendly. I got my offensive line. We may need a little bit of help, with tackle. We'll get Collins back at guard, but I got my receivers there. I got my Jason Witten. I got my Terrence Williams. I got my Bryce Butler. I got my Dez. Hopefully we can keep Zeke. But at this rate, with the stuff that keeps happening, I got to be honest, I am scared about all the stuff that's going on with Zeke. At some point, you got to think the NFL might have something to say about all this because it's not looking good. I'm not seeing too many trolls tonight, Wiz Young, but, what can I say? Bill Bones, how are you doing tonight? Zeke needs to grow up. Yeah, you know what? I think somebody needs to grab a hold of Zeke and just kind of say, hey, we got to go ahead and calm things down, buddy. We got to start looking at the big goal, getting that ring and stuff, and understand that these are distractions that you don't want to have. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Joshua Allen. You are 100% right. If Zeke and Gronk are basically doing the exact same things, but when you see videos of Gronk falling over a rope because he's knocked down, drag out drunk, notice how they have a woman commentator talking and joking. Yeah, Gronkowski was kind of lit up and he kind of tripped over the rope. Oh, Gronkowski offered a couple $10,000 to have sex on the stage. Okay, so that's what you get over there with Gronk. Zeke goes to a club, somebody else brings in a glove, and the police are holding Zeke. You get Zeke, and this whole thing, you don't know what transpired. I'm not saying what he did was right, wrong, or indifferent, but you could tell that she was definitely trying to put everything out there and draw attention to herself. Don't get me wrong. Don't start cussing me out. Don't start sending me hate mail. But what I'm saying is that was like a frat party atmosphere to me. And it was told that she was there partying with them after the fact. So clearly she enjoyed having herself out there. So from that standpoint, it may be kind of innocent, kind of just having fun. We got a president who grabs women in the pussy, excuse my language, and so on. That's okay. But because you're a Dallas Cowboy, it's going to be looked down upon. So just understand that being with America's team, you get a lot of flack. Now, of course, you want to shout out. Dreads5, why is it you want to shout out? All right, so Dreads5, you got a shout out, buddy. Space Cowboy, how you doing? Papa Pineapple, Joey, Roll Garcia, Bill Bones, Matt, Brandon, good Lord, Curtis, Andy. Damn, we got a lot of people here today. So now, good old Tony Romo saga. Here's the thing. We have this feel-good moment and pride of having DeMarcus Ware, who's now retiring, come home. That's a great feeling. We wish that he could have stayed a Dallas Cowboy his whole career, but unfortunately, mismanagement and things like that caused that not to happen. And it's a rarity in football these days for a team to have a guy throughout his whole career. That's just the reality of the beast. But there was goodwill when DeMarcus Ware left. They sat down. They said, look, the only way you can stay is we take a pay cut. He said, hey, I can get more money elsewhere. Shook hands. They broke up. They went about their way. What's going on right now with Tony Romo is the exact opposite, because Jerry Jones said all the right things, saying, hey, you know, we want to do right by Tony Romo. We don't want him to go to a division rival and things. We're going to release him so he can go where he wants to go. Well, the clock is ticking right now. The longer this goes, the harder it's going to be for him when he gets to the other team. Now, we could go ahead and hold on to him until somebody gets hurt. I mean, we could keep all the way through training camp. I mean, honestly, that's the best way the Cowboys can get something good for him. But at this point, do you really want to kill that goodwill? When you look at what happened between the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre, how cold that got for so long, it took him years before they finally patched it up and became, you know, Brett Favre coming back home and getting his number retired. I just feel that you're not getting a trade. You're not. Denver's not going to give up crap for a quarterback. They didn't give up anything for Peyton Manning. What makes you think they're going to give up something for Tony Romo? The Texans know. We just got to wait it out. You're not going to keep him after June 1st. You can't afford to. It would be a $24 million mistake. So, from that standpoint, they can just kick back, relax, and wait. But the thing that you have to think about is at some point they say, you know what? The hell with the Cowboys. The hell with Tony Romo. Let's draft somebody. Let's roll the dice and see if we can get somebody else. Fuck Jerry. And that's what we're doing. Okay. All right. So we do finally have some trolls. I was going to wonder what happened to all the trolls. Because I haven't seen too many lately. And I appreciate that. Actually appreciate that. It kind of calms things back again. And glad that we actually have real fans in here that want to talk about football. Yeah, Curtis, you're right. Manning didn't get anything in a trade, and he won a Super Bowl. Not only won one, he went to two. Okay, so Manning hadn't lost a step at all. I mean, he came in there, and that first season in Denver, he was lighting it up. I'm not saying that Tony Romo can't, but when you think about 50% of his last 6 games he's been injured at, you have to start wondering how well will he hold up for the season. And I know there's a lot of those Romo fans out there that are going to be mad as hell and still are thinking that Tony Romo, that Jerry Jones is changing his mind and Tony Romo should be the starter, yada, yada, yada. I've tried to prove in every which way I can why it doesn't make sense from a dollar standpoint. So you guys can believe what you want to believe. That's the great thing about America. You know, you can think the way you want to think. You can do what you want to do and all that. So go ahead. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Chips? Joey? And see, for me, the Tony Romo situation is not so much about one guy as it is about the whole team. You know, we're looking at all the players we've lost on defense, knowing we need upgrades. To pay a guy to sit on the bench would be insane. It truly would be insane to spend that kind of money for a guy to be on the bench. And again, if I were Dak Prescott, knowing that you're paying this guy $24 million just to sit on the bench, and I'm out here taking all the shots, you know, and getting all the crap, I'd be kind of pissed because I'd be sitting there, we weren't spending $24 million for this guy. Maybe we could have a pass rush on the defense. So that way I don't have to score 30 points a game to win every week. Maybe we could get a couple of cornerbacks that might get some interceptions with some of that money. Or maybe we can get another right tackle over here with that money. Do you see my point here? When you start thinking about making emotional decisions on a football team, you're not going to win. Take a look up north at the Patriots. With the exception of Tom Brady, who's not slowing down, who doesn't get hurt, everybody else is expendable. It don't matter who you are. You can be a Hall of Famer on the team. You can be best tackler on the team. You can be a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. If I can get better value by getting rid of your ass, you're gone. And for some reason, they never have a losing season. And they're always contending for Super Bowls. So start looking at some of the teams where things work. You can't hold on to old players for too long. You end up having to get rid of them when you still have value to get something back in return. That's how you win. You end up drafting well. You don't go ahead and make dumb trades, giving up 2 number ones for a guy like Roy Williams. Those are the things that got the Cowboys into mediocrity. And once you're stuck in that plane of mediocrity, you're not bad enough to be able to get the high draft picks to make, your team change. And you're not good enough to make a run for the Super Bowl. You're just kind of stuck there at that happy medium. And that's why it was actually fortunate that the Cowboys were in the toilet the year before. Because had it not, they wouldn't have the opportunity to draft Zeke, although you have to start wondering with the off-field stuff and hope that he starts growing up. You vote for me to be our – no. Actually, I can't throw a football worth of crap. That's why I played on the line. So thanks. I appreciate that to be our quarterback. I could try and be a role model. But I would love to be that. But quarterback, no. This ass is too old and broke down. How many times have I been called a Romo hater, Mark? Just only 20? I get called 20 every video by different people. Are you kidding me? Romo's not okay. Hey, Sven, how are you doing, man? All the way from Europe. He is good, but and one of the things that people, it's kind of like revisionist history. They'll say, well, you can't get rid of Tony Romo. He is the Dallas Cowboys leading passer. Well, the game has also changed. If you take a look, and I love for you guys to do this, go through and look at some of the old films of like the Dallas Cowboys Doomsday Defense or the Purple People Eaters from the Minnesota Vikings or the Steel Curtain. Take a look at what they were allowed to do. Just about, I'd say 75% of the tackles and the hits would be illegal. This illegal contact, that's my daughter. Illegal contact that we have in the pass interference, that really didn't exist back then. They literally were molested going down the field, and it was truly a running game. So it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges, with the NFL making illegal contact with basically looking at the quarterback too hard, that you're getting a roughing the passer penalty. It has changed the way the game has evolved because it's more passing. The numbers and points have gone up because defenses can't stop them. How many times when you watch a game do you see a cornerback, as soon as he touches somebody, is instantly looking around for the flag? I touched the guy, am I going to get a flag? So you got hesitation. And teams know that. So that's why they're passing more. That's why the defensive linemen have gotten smaller in weight and faster, because they're doing more pass rushing than run stopping. It's the reason why when the Dallas Cowboys got that athletic, big offensive line, they're able to literally wear down the defenses, because you have smaller defensive linemen. They're in the 260 to 290, 300-pound range that are fast guys. But if you get a body that's on them that's got 40, 50 pounds, by the fourth quarter, they're worn out. So it's the evolution of the game, which is part of the reason why the numbers are so high with Tony Romo. So, yes, he has more touchdown passes than Roger Staubach. But do you really believe that Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Roger Staubach? I don't. I look at what the hits that Roger Staubach had to take. I look at the way the defenses were. And the defenses, to me, football was played better. They had more practice time in there. They were more crisp. They literally were more disciplined than what you see now because of basically collective bargaining agreements. There's less practices. There's less hitting. There's the tackling has gotten poor. All those things contribute to being able to light it up a lot better. So I'm not dissing Tony Romo or his numbers because any touchdown pass is a hard thing to do in the NFL. I'm just saying that when you say that he is the greatest quarterback the Cowboys ever had, I kind of want to put an asterisk by that because it's a different era, different game. So go ahead, send me your hate mail on that, Romo fans, because I know you're going to jump on me. J. Watt has split personality. But yeah, Captain Comeback. And if there was Roger Staubach get you down in the end zone and win the game. And he wasn't going to turn it over. A really good team. I mean, they're trying to bring some real talent in, although it seems like they do that every year without a lot of success. But we'll see what happens with them. But they're definitely no success. Hey, Victor, how you doing tonight? I know you're upset because I know you've been waiting to get your Tony Romo video out there. And it looks like I've lost my feed here. I don't know if the camera's still on. Skype. See if it comes back up. Romo's better than Aikman. Okay, but not Staubach. Again, I'm not sure about Romo is a gunslinger. And Tommy Eagle sucks Wednesday. Oh, wow. Shout out to Tommy Eagle. Okay. We have here, man, coming up here, guys. Let's see what happened. See if we come back. Are we back, guys? I'm hoping we are. Technical difficulties. There we go. We are back. Okay. All right. I'm not sure that I'll say that Romo was a better athlete than Troy Aikman, especially when you looked at a picture of him at training camp. I'm just thinking of, I'm sorry, Aikman just seemed to have it. And for whatever reason, you always felt like no matter what, the Cowboys were never out of it with Aikman. So many times, it got to me with Tony Romo. You're going to have one of three things happen when Tony Romo got back there. Tony Romo was either going to make an incredible scramble and throw a touchdown pass that you just couldn't believe. He was going to make J.J. Watt miss him and then go ahead and light it up 40 yards down the field to Terrence Williams for a touchdown. That's one of the things you'd see. Second thing you would see would be, Tony, oh no. An interception at the wrong time. Thing you would always see. Third thing you would see is Tony gets hit and knocked out. So it was always exciting, but every time I saw him running around the pocket, I would always have this fear that something bad could happen. No matter where we were in the game, we could be up by 10 points, fourth quarter. In my mind, I would think, how are we going to lose this one? And I'm not blaming all that on Tony Romo. A lot of that's on coaching because we would still continue to pass the ball when we were in obvious run situations. But I just always felt like no matter what we did, we could lose the game. This year, I didn't feel it that way. And I didn't feel it that way when Aikman was there. Certainly didn't feel it with Roger Staubach. Roger Staubach, you felt like you were going to win every game. And to me, that's just the way I feel. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I felt that way this year with the team, with Dak. When Pittsburgh ended up doing the Dan Marino fake spike touchdown, there's only, 53 seconds left in the game? Oh, we got to call it. Oh, man. We have Law calling in tonight. Wasn't actually expecting to see you tonight, my man. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. Just got the little one to go to bed, so.
Okay. I'm going to actually have to Skype in 15 minutes to the Benet Emery show, too, so I won't have too much time with you. For you guys who don't know, you better definitely know Law Nation. He's got a great YouTube channel, does a lot of live streaming stuff, lots of videos of things of the players and stuff like that, and definitely great having him live streaming. And hopefully, I've got the new screen here. Hopefully, he ends up looking better than I do up on here. So what you got for us tonight, man?
I see you got a free Tony Romo.
Yeah, well, I'm just I'm done with the situation, man, and it's time to move on. The Cowboys aren't going to get a trade for him, so I look at it as what we did with DeMarcus Ware. Let the guy go and finish it off. He's already said goodbye, and now he's just sitting around waiting. This is it's just not right.
Dream goal for us right now is just for him to go ahead and retire. Come on, follow DeMarcus Ware lead. Retire and give us back the money. Work out an underhand deal with Jerry Jones and just retire. That'd probably be the best route. Yeah,
Sven, you made a perfect point on why I felt that way last year, because you're right. Dak is consistent no matter what happens. He's always going to be the same, and he doesn't make those mistakes. And I always say that an interception is a game killer, and it can literally be a 14-point swing. If you're about to go ahead and get in the end zone, you do a pick six, all of a sudden, boom, that's a 14-point difference. Or it's a momentum changer. To me, those interceptions are key. And a lot of people just say, oh, it's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. But, again, you don't have to agree with me.
Right.
I'm giving you my opinions on what I think. So you are more than free to have your own opinions. But if you're going to come to the Jobu Sports Report, you're going to get what I think. So tell me, what do you think, Law, about Elliott?
Oh, man. We all young, dumb, and full of what. But at the same time, that doesn't give you an excuse. How I look at it collectively is that he needs a mentor. It's time for this guy to get a mentor. It's time for somebody to tell him, hey, you know what? You got the world at your hand. This team is so polarizing that anything you do, you scratch your rear end the wrong way, they're going to say, hey, look at that guy, So there's things that he's got to do to clean it up, And this is my opinion. He just needs to have a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not, like I said to the fans here, I'm not justifying what he did, but clearly she was definitely out there to have some fun and to put herself out there to be seen and stuff. But unfortunately, there's a double standard because, see, Gronkowski could get away with that. Gronkowski had the whole, debauchery cruise last year. He can fall down drunk, trip over a fence. He can fall off a golf cart drunk, and that's okay because he's just a frat boy and all that. But unfortunately with Zeke, he's a Dallas Cowboy, and they are literally following him like they follow Princess Diana, just waiting for him to fail so they can put it out there and condemn this guy.
Yeah, and that's been going on for years. The New England Patriots can get away with killing someone, and they'll just look over it and say, okay, it's the player, not the team. And we all know that that's just how it is when you talk about the Cowboys. And it's just how it is, man, basically, when you look at it. But Zeke the Freak is what I call him. He's going to have to freak it down.
Yeah, he would want to get rid of that nickname. He would definitely want to get rid of that nickname right there, Zeke the Freak, because, like I said, when I saw that today, I was just like, oh, fuck.
Another one bites the dust, right?
Yeah.
And then the rages of war with Tony Romo. I got on my Facebook page, I'd even posted to YouTube, the montage of him throwing the interceptions, and somebody would say, hey, man, he's the best quarterback in this fourth quarter and all this stuff, and they throw up the stats. But what I'm saying is that you throw the interception. It's when you throw the interception. Yeah. And if I post it on YouTube, I'm going to have a legions of Romo fans and Romo sexuals to say, hey,
they're going to come through and yeah.
They're gonna come through. Should I post it, Mark? Should I post it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, please post it. Please post. Yeah. But see, you don't understand, though. They don't seem to live in reality, though, because in their mind, Tony Romo is ready to roll right through to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. For whatever reason, sometimes you have guys that can do it most of the time, but when it's really on the line, something just tightens up and it just isn't quite there. And I'm looking, when you give them the stats of Tony Romo in regular season versus Tony Romo in playoff, and his numbers are not good. Mm-hmm. They'll say, oh, it was the defense. Oh, it was. There'll always be an excuse. It's just, it is what it is. And
it is what it is.
Sometimes it's better to have a change of scenery. That's one of the reasons why I'm hoping that somebody will sign Morris Claiborne, because that's another guy that just needs to go someplace else to start all over. And
I thought he did it. He signed with the Ravens.
Oh, did they finally? Okay, they must have signed him since back on the thing. So they must have signed him since I got on here tonight. Then thank God. Then that one's done. I am concerned, though, about our losing most of our defensive backfield with losing Wilcox and Church, as well as Carr. We've got a lot of new people that are going to be coming in there and playing.
Well, what happened to everybody who was saying, like, well, our defense don't cause turnovers, our defense is this, our defense is that. So now that we're getting rid of some of the players, now they're still saying, we should keep them, So you can't have both ways.
Herein lies the conundrum of the Dallas Cowboy fan bloggers, because no matter what they do, nobody's ever going to be happy. They really aren't. And Joey says he actually hasn't signed yet. I know Baltimore was very interested in it, but I hadn't heard that they actually signed. But we'll see. Okay, but they're close. So we'll see what happened with that.
Well, I didn't want to take all your time away, man. I just wanted to chime in just for a few seconds, man. I didn't really want to take all your time away.
But well, definitely, if you have time on Friday, I definitely want you in here. I'll go on to the AM show in about 7 minutes, so you can have a few more minutes here.
Okay.
Like you said, if you haven't checked out Law, please go check out his station, his channel, and show him some love and stuff, because he is fantastic out there. I know you know about DeMarcus Ware coming back and possibly signing a one-day contract. I'm actually glad to see him retire, because to me, he's got a hell of a lot of miles on it. His body's already beginning to fail, and he's accomplished everything he needs to accomplish.
Well, yeah, I see number 94, Haley in the back, but you might have to find a 94 with Ware in the back too as well in your background.
Yeah.
But another thing that I would just like to say here is that a lot of times these veteran players say, hey, I'm retiring, and then they may come back after training camp. So there could be a still slim or possibility that he say, you know what, let me just play a few games. You guys are looking sharp. Who knows? It could be that scenario.
Victor, it's CowboyJobu. Of course, because everything's CowboyJobu. Well, here's the thing I found actually is kind of interesting, because we heard that Alfred Morris was on the trading block, which I didn't think anybody was going to trade for him. And I haven't heard any buzz about Darren McFadden going on any visits or anything. So, they get rid of Alfred Morris and get $1.5 million cap room. And if I think Darren McFadden might be re-signed by the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then if he gets re-signed, I still like his poise. I like the way his veteran leadership is. I like what all he brings to the team. And then if we look at it, you know, Jobu needs a refill.
Yeah, now somebody said he needs a refill. I'm like, he's got 2 here today.
He got 2. I would take one from him, but you know how it is, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm looking at here is that it's possible for us to have $18 million in cap space. Second, because you still got $5 to $6 million from free, and then you have the $14 million for Romo when they finally decide to let him go. And then you make him get one of those key market players.
Right.
Other team's going to decide to draft.
That's exactly, to me, that's exactly what the plan is going to be. And everybody, there's a lot of people that are out there like, oh, we're looking at all these teams, they're making all these moves, the Cowboys aren't doing anything. But it's generally speaking, those teams that are making all those big payday are the ones that end up not doing crap. And usually within about 2 years, those guys are cut, leaving a lot of dead money on the cap. So don't worry about all those big names that are out there. It's actually those value guys that you want to get, guys that are looking to get that big fat payday, you know, that are hungry. You know, it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full. Right. A lot of times you get these guys that are getting paid, you know, $15 million a year. It's like, you know what? I really don't need to kill myself on this one. I can alligator arm this pass. Why am I going to go all out for this? You get a guy who's looking to get a big payday to set himself up for the rest of his life. His arms are all out there knowing he's about to be laid up by that safety. They're going to go all out because they are hungry to try and do something. So relax, guys. Team's going to be from this point out. You don't know what veterans are going to be out there that are going to be available that you're going to be able to sign at a reasonable rate. And you will have money eventually from Tony Romo. And honestly, the best thing for the Dallas Cowboys is to make him a June 1st cut and get that money then. Use it to pay Zach Martin. Use it on some of these veterans later on. And they'll be in a better shape than if we spend $10 million on a cornerback right now.
Yeah, just not making splashes like everybody wants.
Exactly.
But, hey, we've been doing the same thing. It's been working. Like I say, for the last few years, we only had one losing season. And we all know what happened after that. We drafted some good players from that. So all we need to do is just get those 1 or 2 catalysts that can just push the defense out just a little bit more. And then how you feel about T. Will? What you feel about T. Will contract?
It's team friendly. You weren't going to upgrade him for that kind of money. There's no way you're going to get anybody who is better than that for what they're actually paying him. I think he wanted to come back. I think when you started hearing some of the things that he was saying about Dak Prescott and things, I thought for sure that he would want to go wherever Tony Romo went because they had such a great repertoire. But he wanted to be here. And to me, I think that's actually good. And I think having a guy who knows the system and things like that is going to have another year working with Dak will get better in that year. So I feel good about that one.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, although he's a body catcher, he knows the offense. That's how I feel about it.
There's a lot
he just knows offense. You can't beat continuity.
Yeah. Get ready to go for the law. Thank you for calling in tonight, man. And I hope I see you on, because by then, the way shit keeps happening with Dallas Cowboys, who knows what will happen between now and then. Did I lose you? We're having like a really bad snowstorm that's hitting out here in D.C. right now. And so I guess it's messing up with the Wi-Fi and things tonight. I have lost him. And let's hope I can get back for the Renee Emery show. Okay. All right. So I don't know who that is. All right. Yesterday, but have a name show right now. So I get ready to call up here. We're actually, you're part of the show for the Renee Emery show right now. Making babies laugh out loud. Romo is not retiring. Okay. That was that, Bill. That was actually the actual show, the Renee Emery show, which I actually am part of. And And hopefully they answer the phone soon. I've been on that show for about, don't tell me I lost my feed again. We're just having a terrible time tonight with the feed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break real quick. Oh, we got Mark on?
You got Mark on.
Hey, Mark, we got to play a song, Hang Tight. We coming right back to you. Okay for that?
Yeah, free Tony Romo.
Oh.
I see the sign. Free Tony Romo. Where you wanted to go?
Wait, hold on.
Hey, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Wah!
We can't take a break. My bad. My bad. I thought we could take a break and put Mark on hold, but we can't take a break. But I wanted to go ahead and let's go ahead and just dive into Mark. Mark.
Yes, sir.
I want y'all to stop being mean to Tony Romo.
Who's being mean to Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Yeah, take a shot. There you go. There you go.
Take a shot.
Tony
Okay.
Romo was a
got it lined
gift
up.
from the NFL guys that blessed us and helped this franchise out, and now y'all just want to hurry up and discard them. Y'all are just some ungrateful fans.
We need to say that paper.
Okay. All right. Let me put it for a nutshell here, okay?
Okay.
There's no hate for Tony Romo. If you know what's happening right now with DeMarcus Ware retiring, he's coming home to the Dallas Cowboys. It's a beautiful thing, okay? The bottom line is this. Tony Romo, it's about the money, okay? If we keep Tony Romo, and everybody keeps saying, oh, you're going to have to pay another quarterback anyway, you're already going to take a $19 million cap hit, what's another $5 million you're saving? Well, it's not really just $5 million, because if you keep him this year, that $24 million, this time next year. So you have to cut him then or keep him on the roster again for another $25 million. So we're talking about $35 million for one season. Who in the NFL would you pay $35 million for? Any player. Just name one.
For 1 year?
For 1 year.
Nobody.
That's what it costs to keep Tony Romo as a backup quarterback for this year. Because it's 24 this year, and to cut him next year, it's another 9.
Yeah. So you might as well go ahead and cut your losses now.
Now, let me put that in perspective. We spent $32 million on our defense last year. 32. And all these people are crying about, oh, man, you don't want to keep Carr, or, we need to upgrade this guy. There's no money to upgrade. Why? Because you're paying Tony Romo all that money.
Well, we're going to have to do something, because did you see who the Giants got?
Okay.
We got a secondary, and we lost 2 safeties.
True. But remember about the whole offseason champion. Remember the dream team, too, when the Eagles were out there buying all kinds of players. Think about the Washington Redskins every year in free agency, where they always make the big splash, and you're always scared about the Washington Redskins because they got Hainsworth. They put Hainsworth on that defense. They're going to be a monster. And guess what? No. Most of those big signings are gone within 2 years, leaving behind a lot of dead money. So relax, take it easy. Because the ones that actually do well, take a look at New England. New England doesn't go, hog wild in the first week of free agency. Value picks, guys that are hungry, that want to make a name for themselves. So what the Cowboys are going to be able to do, let Tony Romo go, make him a June 1st cut. You got $14 million of cap room because you can spread out that $19 million over 2 seasons. You've got that $14 million, and all of a sudden, after the draft, teams will be releasing a lot of players because they drafted a young guy. By draft pick, we can let this veteran go. So you'll see a lot of good veterans that are still on the streets that still have use. But most teams will spend most of their money already in free agency and won't have the room. And that's where the Cowboys will actually be able to get some decent talent later in the spring. So just relax, take it easy. We'll be okay.
So what is more important to you now? Because we lost 2 safeties. We also lost 2 offensive linemen. And we lost 2 defensive line as well.
Yeah.
So what's the game plan going forward with the draft?
Well, actually, I like the Stephen Pia signing because I think he's actually going to be an upgrade getting back with Robert Martinelli. The good thing for the Dallas Cowboys is basically their whole offense is coming back intact. We lost Doug Freed, but we needed to lose. If we can get a tackle, basically you have your whole offense back together. So the offense will be fine. And by them doing that, that's going to open up the draft for the defense, where if it's a cornerback, a safety, or a defensive lineman, whichever is the best one available, you're going to take that guy. And I still think that they will look for some more value in free agency. This worry is actually Zeke Elliott. I don't know if you saw what happened today.
Man, listen, that's a 22. But how old is that kid? He's having fun. It's not the first time.
But here's the but listen.
People go to Mardi Gras and do that shit every year.
But here's the problem, though, man. Gronk can get away with that.
Gronk can't. That's what I was just
okay. Gronk can get away with that, but guess what? He's a black man with a lot of money on the Dallas Cowboys, the best in his position, looking for him to fail. He's got TMZ following him everywhere he goes. Anything that he does is going to be magnified 100 times. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying what he did. It was more of like a frat house type of a deal, but it's going to be blown out of proportion because he's a Dallas Cowboy.
These the same people that were saying, "Oh, he's a woman beater," and then even though he had text messages, he didn't.
Right, and he's still under investigation. And the problem is with these kinds of incidents, the NFL is not going to say, "Oh, you're free," because now the NFL is going to be looking at every single thing you do to make an example of.
That was not a complaint made. It was just a kid having fun.
I know, but you and I know that. But guess what? If you don't like the Dallas Cowboys or anything like that, you're going to be on the other side of the fence because people are going to say he sexually assaulted her.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, and by definition, you could say that he did technically.
No, she was smiling. She was smiling.
Doesn't matter.
She was woo.
Yeah, I mean, she was basically drawing attention to. I mean, she was basically
was happy Zeke Elliott, a rich black dude for the Dallas Cowboys, is touching her boobs. Shout out to Jerry Jones. He said the president. So if Jerry Jones touch a boob, then damn it, the players can too.
He said the president.
But how many? Okay, but let's go back in history. How many brothers have been lynched because of something like that?
Shout out to Emmett Till, for real.
Okay. So let's not go ahead and just say it's no big deal because you don't want kids out there going out there doing that too and thinking it's okay. But what I'm saying is anything that he does will be blown up. So that's the concern I have because that incident is not a big deal. But then when you start putting all these things together, because people will say, "Oh, he's under investigation for beating up his girlfriend. Oh, he's hanging out with thugs because a guy came in the club with a gun. Oh, he's out getting drunk." During the season. So they start putting this stuff together without getting all the facts together. That will be the perception that you have of him, and that brings negative vibes to the team and negative conversation. We don't need that distraction. Exactly.
We've had NFL's players say, I'll kick every nigga's ass in here. You've had sending pictures of his wiener.
Again. They're not Dallas Cowboys players, okay? You think that the Dallas Cowboys are the only team that ever had anybody busted for weed? Always hear Stephen A. Smith. And by the way, those jackasses stole my material again. You can't stay off the weed. Yet you have Washington Redskins, best tackle. He got suspended last year for 4 games.
Wait a minute. You had the GM fired because he couldn't stop
because he was drunk, right? Dallas Cowboys, CowboyJobu on YouTube, on Facebook. You can get CowboyJobu, and of course, every Monday night here on the AM.
We need them.
We got about 200 online right now watching the show with us.
That's
right. All right.
Time next week, homie.
All right, man. I love being here, man.
All right, peace.
Thanks.
So that was me doing the Jobu Sports Report on the Benet Emery Show, which I've been doing for about 2 years or so now, and it's actually been a lot of fun. And the only reason why I was able to do that was because of good old Jobu. And did we lose the feed again? Oh, there we go. Any thoughts on this show naming Jobuing around Dallas Cowboys Sports Talk with Mark Holmes? Cowboy Jobu and Law Nation. Well, Law Nation, he is my buddy, man. I tell you what, I love doing the show with him. I wish I had his voice because he's got that deep voice, and he has just got the voice for radio. In fact, he's got better looks than I do, so maybe he should be on TV and I should be on radio. I'm waiting to actually get Victor Baker, and Victor, you need to get your Skype and stuff together because you need to get on the show as well as some other people. We're going to be working on getting some different interviews and stuff together, trying to do stuff, take it to another level of things. I'm going to keep trying to upgrade here. Like I said, I got the new TV up here monitor, so it looks a lot better when we have people in here and things. And it looks like I need to boost my Wi-Fi as well because I kind of lost some of the feed here today and stuff, and that's not good at all. But God, it seems to fly every time we're on here together because I can't believe we've been on here for almost an hour already. Mark Holmes and Law Nation. Yeah, I love doing stuff with Law. There's my girl Sarah. Eagles suck dick. Okay, that's on y'all. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Jobu needs a face. Jobu needs a haircut as well as a refill. Any thoughts on the show name? Well, this is JSR, Jobu Sports Report. Now, if we're talking about Law Nation and me, I don't know. Me and Law have to work on that. It definitely has to do with Jobu and Law Nation. I don't need my name on it because nobody knows me. Jobu needs a refill. What's up? What's up, Tyrone? How about a who train? A whole train. Okay. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm with you. How about them Cowboys? I don't like Zeke in trouble at all. Like I said, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And let me not minimize that because again, I don't want to put out the right thing. But it's going to be blown up because he is a running back for the Dallas Cowboys. J-Wad, yeah. We could actually do it on the Benet Emery show. That's an interesting point. Stay off the boobies. Yeah, you're right. Stay off the boobs. Way to go, Manuel. Sven, you might be in Chicago and New York. Maybe stop by some hours in good old DC. Well, hey, I tell you what, if you stop in DC, definitely let me know if you're going to be there because we could definitely have a meetup because I go to DC every day for work. Law and Jobu SV. Yeah, we might need to be SBU with good old Zeke the way things are going right now. That's a good one, Space Cowboy. Yeah, I think Law would probably like that. Law and Jobu SBU. Law got a new subscriber. Yeah, way to go, Sam, man. Definitely check him out. He's good people, man. Really good people. And you've seen him here on the show, and he knows what he's talking about, and he's great. Gannis loves your channel too there, Law. You're very welcome, Jackie. I thank you guys for all watching, and it is getting close to that 10 o'clock hour. And depending on if we get a lot of snow or not, I'm hoping that we do. I may be home or I may end up being at work, but I got to get up at 4:30 and find out what the federal government's doing. Holloway 15, shout out to you because I don't think I've seen you here before. Thank you very much for the love on the show. I'm just doing the best I can. Oh, I'm curious. Have any of you guys seen is now live streaming? He's got like 2 or 3 different videos out. And I started watching one of them, and he's at home. He's live streaming, and he's talking about the addition to their family. He's bringing his dog in. I'm literally watching for like 10 minutes, and he was supposedly talking about Tony Romo, and I just couldn't watch any more of it. I was like, wow, I hope I'm better than that was. So I'm kind of surprised. Shout out to Jobu and Marcos. Thank you, Law. Hey, Law, you realize they think Law and Jobu SVU is the name of our show is what it needs to become. I kind of like that. Shout out to you for calling in tonight. Yeah, and I am in Virginia. For those of you who wonder, how did I become a Dallas Cowboy fan in Virginia? I became one because I was born in 1965, and my dad was a Dallas Cowboy fan, mainly because living through segregation and all the stuff that he went through, with the Redskins having Preston Marshall not integrating the team, he's just like, I can't root for them. Not that I'm saying things were better in Dallas, but they had black players on their team. So he was a Dallas Cowboy fan. And being a little kid, I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy fan because my dad was. And my son is the same way. So he's a Dallas Cowboy fan because he was watching the Dallas Cowboys with me. So we're actually 3 generations of Cowboy fans that grew up out here in D.C. And the amazing thing is that you would be surprised at how many Dallas Cowboy fans there are in this area. I would say 15 to 20% of the people around here are Dallas Cowboy fans in D.C., the nation's capital. So go figure. Yeah, we can definitely get the SVU music to go with that, Law. All right. Yeah, we are up to, yeah, we're getting close to 7,400 subscribers. I'm amazed that we're growing this fast in the off season, and it feels great. I can't wait till we get to 10,000, so we'll be able to actually live stream from different events. I'm hoping we can get there before, well, it won't happen before draft, but I definitely want to do some live streaming because I will be at the NFL draft at the end of April, and I cannot wait. But it's after 10 o'clock. It's been over an hour, guys, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming to the show. I want to thank Law Nation for coming in here. I want to thank Jobu for having rum so that way I can steal it. And keep spreading the mojo, guys. And I will see you guys. We will be live streaming again next Friday. And if and when Tony Romo gets released, or if anything big happens, we will definitely do a live stream for you guys. So I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you for watching and subscribing.